I'm really kind of hoping, and some people in this room know me. I did work in this area a while ago, a long while ago. As a matter of fact, I was the superintendent here for 3 days, which a lot of people don't know. In between, it wasn't you, Quentin. It was in between some other people that came and went. And darned if we didn't have a snow day. It was weird. But I am Fred Woodman, and if I look familiar to one or two of you, and some of you I could tell by your ages, I could have had you in school. I was the assistant principal at Millinocket Middle School back in the 80s. And I worked around this area quite a bit, and I always loved coming up here. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm representing the Bridge Year. I'm the executive director of Bridge Year. And what I'm coming up to tell you is how this program works and what goes on, and never mind what was in the paper today. Bridge Year had nothing to do with that, even though the governor happened to bring us up. I've been everything from as you know, I'm always a teacher. Everybody's a teacher. I've been a teacher, a middle school assistant, middle school principal, elementary principal, high school assistant, high school principal, superintendent of schools. I've pretty much done it all, but I've also been a career technical ed director. And I fell in love with that side. And so, because I think that the two partners never seem to talk, and they never seem to work together. And what Bridge Year does is bring those two things together, and we also bring them together with colleges. And what I'm going to tell you tonight is what it is, how it grew, and where it's going. So today we're going to tell you what the drivers are, who the team is, how we got here, the present day, and what we see for tomorrow. The Bridge Year is a group of educators that came together. The Commissioner of Education came to my school, and after a day of spending a day together in which we hit it off eventually, it wasn't right off, but eventually, he said to me, what can you do, what can we do to make education better? And I said, one of the things you can do is you can get institutions to start talking to each other and start doing things right for kids and for parents. Okay, sounds very simple, but very difficult. High schools don't talk to CTE, CTE don't talk to high schools, nobody talks to the colleges don't want to talk to anybody below them. So therefore, our kids are going through school all over the place, and really some not very nice things are happening to them. So we came up with the Bridge Year program. And the commissioner said to me, if you could bring together a few friends, and he said, do you have any? And I said, 5. Can you bring them together, and can we try something different? And I said, I'm willing to do that, but you have to keep up your end of the bargain, which is a very simple end. I want to make sure that DOE doesn't get in the way. Now, I know if you've been on the board for any length of time, Department of Ed tells you what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. And that's another big partner that's a problem. And he promised that he would move mountains, break rules, and do all those things, and he actually did it, by the way. He stayed away from us for a whole year and a half and didn't allow any DOE personnel to know what we were doing. And we brought together the vice president, one of the vice presidents of the university, the provost of the University of Maine, the dean of engineering from the University of Maine, the president of Eastern Maine Community College, and a bunch of other people. And we worked under 3 rules. One is, this is for parents and kids. And that's it. That's one rule. 2, check your ego at the door. It's not going to be a University of Maine program, a UTC program. It's going to be a program for everyone. And 3, you can't say no. Because whenever you're dealing with the higher-ups, no, we can't do that. It's the first words out of their mouth. So when you have like the Dean of Engineering sitting there, Dean Humphreys, and it's very funny to watch because we worked under those rules for a whole year and a half, and we still work under those rules today with the board of directors. And the Dean of Engineering says, well, we can't do that, and everybody stops talking, he has to leave. And he can't come back until he comes up with a way to do it. And that's really how we did it. So it's a small group of, like, I can't even say the word, smart educators, not counting me, and community members who formed an ad hoc committee to develop an alternate way of moving successfully from high school to higher education and on to careers. This all started in the fall with a rough concept of 11. I'm not going to go all the way through this. What actually set it off, we do not belong to the governor. and we both have both Republicans and Democrats on the board of directors, by the way. And we try not to be political, although everybody tries to drag us in. We keep trying to move away. We're not political, but the governor came up with, remember that 5th year of high school when he first ran, and that's what he wanted? We knew that was never going to fly, but it opened another door, and the other door was, well, let's not do 5 years, let's do one of those years inside the high school. And so the junior and senior year is what we came up with. And so as you can see, we have legislative support, and we did a lot of, I spent probably half of my life testifying in Augusta, which Quint will tell you is not always a good time, and most of the time they're not listening. But we did it anyway, and we finally got through and started our first cohort. And in about 35 words, a holistic, silo-free program blending academic rigor, offering about 30 college credits, real-world relevance. The CTE is going to take that academic stuff and put it to work so that you understand it. We're going to do lots of career exploration. We're going to do additional advising, first year of college seminar, because we need a math teacher, a science teacher, a social studies teacher, okay? And we also need an English teacher. And we also need a guidance counselor, because this world changes real quick. And that guidance counselor stays with them through their first year of college after they have stepped out of high school. Okay? And that's to make sure they can have somebody to fall back on that they know. And we do job shadows with them and internships, and that's the job up here of Region 3 to make sure that that stuff happens. And then we do a soft transition from high school to college. Okay? That's the goal of the program.
Fred,
yes.
Excuse me.
Anytime.
I just want to say that there's a bunch of people sitting there. You guys have a good view. There's more chairs here and here if you want to get a better view.
And Fred, you may not want to introduce that woman, because she's important to us and we don't see her very often. They may not know who she is.
Where's she been?
I don't know.
By the way, that is Mary Hawks, and she is the director of Region 3 in Lincoln. And I take care of her certification, so if she doesn't do what she's supposed to do, let me know. We can fix that very quickly. Okay? And her assistant is right there on her left, and I take care of his too. Anyway, I said assistant. Our demographic is the motivated average Maine student. This program is aimed at the kid in the middle, okay? Which I was the kid in the lower middle, but this is aimed at the kid in the middle, because upper level kids, they pretty much are on their way. They know where they're going. They know what they're going to do. Most of them float through. The majority of kids float through in the middle. They really don't know. They're going to college. I don't know why. Sounds like a good idea. And all of those things. So we aim this program at them. The bridge year has no authority. I can't come up and tell you anything of what to do. We collaborate on everything, and our greatest strength is interinstitutional pollination and collaboration. Big words, it means we get everybody talking. And we make sure the program is set up, and we make sure the program has integrity. That's our job. I don't know how many of you know, does anybody know what the average student loan debt is in the state of Maine?
A lot.
I've got the number. You're not going to like to see it. $29,000. And if you don't know what the average household annual income in Penobscot County is, $33,000. Okay, you can see that's pretty poor. That's what the bridge year's aimed at. If you're going to go to school, we're going to make it cheaper for you to go to school, we're going to keep you there, and we're going to give you a skill. So you have all of those things. What we're doing right now in college in Maine is not sustainable. Students are not paying back their loans because they can't afford it. Okay, so they either leave the state, which we don't want them to do, because they can't work here. But these are one of the things that, some of the things that committee and now the board of directors is aiming at. Anybody know the percent of full-time undergraduates who complete a 4-year college degree within 6 years? 59% of those who start complete in 6 years nationally. At the University of Maine system, 26%. So does that drive one? Now you know why the university wants to play. They've got to stop that. They can't have that continue on. And parents can't afford it either. This one will really shock you, the percent of full-time students who complete a 2-year college degree within 3 years. Nationally, it's 31%. Here, it's 33%. Okay, and that's an associate's degree. High school graduation rates are rising in Maine, and we're pleased, but we want to keep them going on the upward level. The Bridgers Joint Faculty Team guiding essential question for 2011, and now is, what must our students know, understand, and be able to do to effectively participate in the global Maine economy, and how do we most efficiently and effectively deliver these needed skills? Where are the jobs going to be? Department of Labor will tell you, here's where they are. But that's kind of a crystal ball. We don't really believe that because a lot of things change. So we make sure that Bridger kids do all kinds of different things. These are, for example, are at Maine Maritime Academy. We'll take them down there for a day. We'll make sure they know what Maine Maritime Academy is, whether they plan on going there or not. We'll take them for a sail. How much do you think things have changed? How much confidence do you have in what opportunities and challenges current and future students will encounter? This prosthetic hand was made with 3D printers. We have one in our school. And you could go to USC and they can make a house, 25,000 square foot house, with an automated construction 3D printer. That's how fast the world is changing. And they can do it in 20 hours. So what we do is we use rigor and relevance. When they take courses, we make sure they understand what they're learning and why they're learning it, where it's going to apply in the real world. Rigor and relevance framework, our daily interaction of academics and relevance. What we propose and what we're doing right now with UM and UMA is 50% academic muscle, 50% CTE relevance. Bridger ingredients, rigorous dual enrollment coursework, self-discovery, intensive career exploration, career mentoring, small learning communities, which we call cohorts, and we build those the first day. Summer academies, personal college financial literacy, we teach them, for example, how to borrow money for college and what to borrow and how much to borrow. Because right now, and on these many grants that you get, they'll give you $12,000, but it only costs $9,000 to go. And you know what colleges tell them? That's your rebate. You can use that any way you want. Well, it's not their rebate, it's part of their loan. But kids don't know that. And we do a soft transition from high school to higher ed. Dual enrollment coursework. The first summer of your sophomore year, end of your sophomore year, those that are chosen, those that apply, and those that are chosen to be in the Bridger program up here, we're going to take you for 3 days. And you do have to go. We will put you on a college campus, which will probably, for this group, be Eastern Maine Community College. That's where we'll house you. And from there, we will take you to the University of Maine. We'll put you through the ropes course. We will make sure that you guys learn how to work together, how to be together, how to do things together, how to maneuver together, because for the next 2 years, you're together all the time. As far as school is concerned, when you change classes, it's just your group and that teacher. And that's a cohort. And with the next summer, you will come back for 2 more days. Well, what do we do the other 2 days while you're down there? We take you to businesses. We're going to take you to WABI, we're going to take you to WLBZ, we'll take you to the state police, we'll take you to Eastern Maine Healthcare, we'll take you to Chinbro, we'll take you to Sergeants, we'll take you to all these different jobs that you never even thought of. And that's what we do for 3 days. And by the time you come out of there, what we're going to give you as a student is your college ID. And parents, we will invite you to come down and watch that, because it's a lot of fun, because all of a sudden they're in college. Okay? And they know it as soon as that ID with their picture is on it. They have all the rights of a student of the University of Maine and the University of Maine Augusta. And when Schenck picks their courses, whatever courses they choose, they may have 2 IDs, one to UMaine Augusta and one to UMaine. Very common. And that's when your college career starts. As soon as you step in the first day as a junior. Well, how is that happening? We take your teachers, and your teachers, by the way, are in great shape because I have their resumes. They've already turned in their resumes to us we take them over to the universities and we say, here are the teachers. Are they good enough to become adjunct faculty? And the college either says yes or no. I've seen our resumes up here and we look pretty good. I don't think we're going to have any problems. We take those over, and what happens is when they come back in the fall, so that everybody understands it, they have their regular high school English teacher, but on top of that, he's also teaching English 101 from the University of Maine. Okay, how do you do that? It's not hard. We've built the curriculum, it's all done, and it's all vetted, and it all works. Okay, so what else is going on? Well, at the same time, that's a 3-credit course. So how much are parents paying? If it's from University of Maine, Augusta, Bangor, University of Maine, Augusta, or from UM, it's a different price. University of Maine, Augusta, either one of those, it's $40 a credit hour. University of Maine and Orono, it's $45 because they're bigger, they're better, they're superior. Ask them.
Sure.
And it might be, it depends on which, but your teachers are also working with those professors that we're paying to oversee that program, to make sure that it keeps its integrity and what's supposed to be given is given. Where do the tests come from? This is always fun to watch, because if you think back, for those of you here that have had a college, like me, you wind up in college, you go in, and the first 6 weeks is great, because you don't have a prelim. And then you have that prelim, you bomb it, and you realize you're in deep trouble. If you're at the college, nobody cares. The difference here is we care, and your high school teacher's right there with you. So that when we get those big eyes and they go, oh, I didn't realize how much I had to study, it's almost an instantaneous change for our students, and it works well. Does everybody make it? No, 1 or 2 may not, but for the most part, so far in all our cohorts this year, already would, we only have 1 of the 144 that's in trouble. Everybody else is doing fine, and they're all average kids. So what we do it that way. The worst thing that happens is they will get their high school English credit. Okay. Well, what if I don't have $120 to pay for my child's course? Bridgeview will, if you need it, give you some help. Okay, but that would be a private conversation we would have. The other thing is that Bridgeview insists the parents have buy-in. Okay, so in other words, they know, you know when your child's doing well, when your child is not doing well, and when they're not putting the time in. Nobody knows better than parents. Teachers know a lot, but they don't know that. And you can say, look, I'm paying for these, and I expect the credit. Works real well for parents. They love it. So in other words, in the end, when your child graduates from high school, their first year in college will also be done, and it will cost you about $1,500. I had 4 kids that I put through high school. None of them. That was about the first book for all 4. So I'm telling you, this is a real deal, and parents love it. And it is fun to get involved. So we're going to build the cohorts. We're going to give them career exploration. This is a good example here of where we took them over to, that's the Waterfront Concerts, and that's Mr. Gray. And he explained to them all the different things that go into just running a concert and where he comes from. And he is an engineer, by the way, which a lot of people don't know. But interesting character, and he is a character. This is behind the scenes at the new auditorium. And that's at the Bangor Daily, I think. Maine Maritime Academy. So how does it work? First year, 13 UM credits in grade 11. 3 credits for your summer. Okay. College advising. The second year, same thing, 13 UM credits. And then what we are going to do on those 2 days is we take you to different colleges as your senior year comes up, so that you know what you're going to be facing. But the nice part is, they're not afraid of college because they've been on a college campus for 3 to 5 days. They know how to eat. They know how to find the bathroom. They know how to find all these things. You don't realize this, but your kids are in Schenck High School. Everything's normal to them. Put them on a college campus with 5,000 other kids, half the kids don't eat. We found that out. We teach them how to do that, how to do all of those things, so that by the time they hit the college, they're ready to go. And they know what to expect. Summer Academy, as I told you, 4 high school classes, 4 UMaine classes, and UTC program. UTC is my school. Up here it would be Region 3 program, and you're every other day, correct?
Yes.
So they would be every other day. Right. And then Year 2 Summer Academy, same thing, 3 credits. And then UTC, or in this case Region 3, every other day. Most kids graduate with more than 30 credits because some of them take them in the summer on their own because they get a break on them. And many of ours, like we have one right now, I'll tell you about it in a minute. You'll see in a second. Here's the first cohort. They graduated in June. These are the colleges that they went to. Now, at that time, and what's in the paper today, EMCC was part of this. Okay? And that's where they all got their first college credits from. So 7 of them went to EMCC. One of them graduated 2 weeks ago. She's her associate's degree. She's now up at Maine starting her junior year. She graduated from Herman High School last June 15th. Okay? You know how much money she owes? She was with me yesterday, so I was able to ask her all these questions. I said, how much do you owe? She was nothing. I don't know anything. It's all paid up. And we do have one at UMaine. By the way, the other 6 here will graduate in June. Okay, so you can see they all started as sophomores. Every one of these was started as sophomores. At UMaine, Unity, this young man, we didn't know he was going to apply because we didn't know how private colleges were going to react to this. And like Husson or Unity, they called me and they said, tell us about the Bridge Year program. So I told them this happens to be a young man, wants to be a guidance counselor. And I said, how many credits are you going to accept? These are all gen ed credits from the university, so they're good at any public university. What if your child wants to go to Rhode Island? They're accepted down there because they're gen eds through the UMaine system. So it'd be the same as if you transferred from the University of Maine. This young man went to a private, which is Unity, wanted to be a game warden. They not only accepted the credits, they gave him a $10,000 scholarship, $10,000 every year for the next 3 years. He won't have any debt either. The 3 at Husson accepted all their credits, in case you're thinking of that. That's Culinary Institute of America, because this child, which is an interesting child, he was a potential dropout. He was going to drop out. He had enough of high school his junior year until he got in the Bridge program, and he said, and he fell in love with culinary arts. And by the way, most of these kids weren't going to a CTE school. They completely changed and loved it. And if I brought them up, they'd tell you that. So that's Culinary Institute of America. And then NBCC is New Brunswick Community College. Well, why would we have a child going to New Brunswick Community College? His father's Canadian. So that's why he chose that. And this is the young lady I was telling you about right here that graduated. It is NACP, which is the college NEASC, ensures its high quality programming where students take responsibility for their learning. A little bit of data about what we know about Bridge Year students right now this academic year. The Bridge Year students are earning 2,240 credits, which would normally cost at the University of Maine system at a rate of $777,000. Bridge Year students are currently paying a total of $89,000. The colleges do get some money out of this, but they don't get $300 a credit. 45 from 300 is a long way off. The pluses for the student: a more relevant educational experience, a financial cost savings, time savings, because one of the things we want them to do is enter the workforce earlier. Our workforce is becoming depleted. Some of us are going to be my age. Okay. Clearer career educational goals, and a higher likelihood of desired degree attainment. The secondary pluses: higher high school graduation rates, increased student engagement, minimal additional cost to the high school. That's good news. and increased faculty professional development, because these professors and faculty talk once a month, twice a month, every other month. They're always talking back and forth, so their syllabuses are going up and up and up. Because if they have a problem, they talk to the professor helps them working through it. And guess what we found? I know this is going to shock you. That, this is the 4th year now, Bridger. What we found is the high school teachers are somewhat better in the classroom than the college professors. And the college professors have found that too. And that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Because they're edge on faculty. So now some of our high school teachers are teaching in the summer these courses. But what our high school teachers have gained academically from it is they gain a better understanding of the CTEs and how they're working and how they can use that as their lab. But they also gain a deeper understanding of their subject area, because that's what college professors have that high school teachers don't have, because they can't just teach 3 classes a week. The higher education pluses, not just a college ready, but a college proven student. These kids have a college transcript. Okay? When they go to apply for their college, their transcript goes with them. So they've already proven they could do college work. And with FAME, Finance Authority of Maine, they're not considered freshmen. They're considered sophomores, therefore they're eligible for more money. Okay, that was a mistake. We found that out when we sat down and did FAME. FAME said, oh no, they're sophomores, because they've got more than 20 credits, so they're sophomores. Students who are much more likely to graduate from college and who will repay any debt owed. And for the colleges, they count. So we have 144 college students at UMaine, and they count at UMaine. And UMaine doesn't have to house them, they don't have to feed them, they don't have to do anything with them except collect their money. The win for the parents, a lower degree attainment cost, educational time savings, because you can see how fast they're getting through college. Decreased likelihood your son or daughter will need to return home to live in the basement. Which is very good, because of my 4, 1 came back. What are the upcoming opportunities for Region 3? The continuation of improving student performance. More students become more successful post-high school. Continued strengthening of Region 3's enrollment. And increased aspirations for many other Region 3 classmates. This is where Bridger is going. You can see where we are now. This is where we know we're going to be, and this is where we know we're going to be next year. Okay, it's coming into Lewiston next year. It's going into Auburn next year. It's going into Lincoln. It's going to a lot of places quicker than we want it to go. It's growing too fast, because one of the reasons why I'm now, this is all I do, is because the integrity of the program must be maintained at all times. We were doing it with part-time people before. What are the upcoming challenges for UTC and Bridge? Improving instructional differentiation to accommodate more increasingly motivated students. Program capacity limitations. Maybe right now you'll have 12. And Bangor now has 2 cohorts. Brewer has 2 cohorts. Hampton has 2 cohorts. Herman has 2 cohorts. Of those cohorts, they'll probably get, Bangor gets about 140 applications. Okay, Brewer gets about 100, Herman's about 100. Unfortunately, Bridger can only take 20. That's the max. That is a limitation. That is a drawback for Bridger. People always say, well, what's wrong with it? That's what's wrong with it. Because we can't take any more than that. Because we have to be able to watch each child and work with all of those schools and all of those professors and everybody else. It must be watched at all times. So we do have program capacity limitations. UTC, for example, because of Bridger students, is now at capacity. They can't take any more students. Bridger, they must take. Okay? And Region 3 will have to start thinking about what they're going to have to do to expand. Maintaining desired levels of additional advising and student support. That has to happen. And these are the originals, and I have it, and I'll try to play it for you in just a minute. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They made a video when they were juniors. And they have now remade the video now that they're all in college. But they wrote the script themselves, and they said what they wanted to say themselves, and I'll play that for you in just a minute. Here's the fine print. The program is not for all students. It takes dedication. It costs money to organize and run this thing, and it does. We are now operational in 8 high schools across the state. We're in formal planning phase with 7. Okay, well, we're more than that now. Additional high schools this summer. We will require some level of private funding in the future, not right now, but in the future, to maintain the effort long term. We have a significant out-of-state and federal interest already. The feds and DOE can't believe we're doing this. And that's the Federal Department of Education. We have had New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Missouri, and Oklahoma would like us to come out there and see what we can do about setting it up in their states. We don't have time to do that. We basically said, when we're really big and really good, we'll let you know. The goal of Bridge Year is to disappear. And the high schools someday, within 8 or 9, 10 years, will just run it themselves. We don't want to create another big administrative unit that oversees things. We eventually want Schenck High School to run it themselves with Region 3. Okay, that's a nice goal. That's what we're shooting for. When will it happen? I don't know. But it is a goal, and we've written in our own death. At a certain year that we've written in with the board of directors, this is where we'd like to die. And it just becomes a normal program in every high school. We have a significant, I told you that, we have and will continue to make mistakes, and we do. And we do modify to match what Schenck needs as opposed to what Bangor High School needs. Okay, because they're different. And we have to meet their needs. We learn from them, and hopefully we won't make them twice. And we're eternally grateful to all those who made this grand experiment possible. I cannot believe Bridger is 5 years old. And I can't believe we've got the first group that graduated and what they've done. We've been very, very successful so far. Next year, in 2015-16, we will have 400 registered Bridge Year students, and that's a very conservative number. I bet it's closer to 550. Earning 5,600 UMS credits. The 5,600 UMS credits would normally cost at an average UMS rate of $1,000,009. Bridge Year students will pay to the university a total of $224,000, which will save $1,007,000. So, does it work? Yeah, it does. Now I've shut my mouth off. Questions, please. Don't be afraid to ask. Just because there are people in here you don't know, now's the time to ask. Yeah, it is too good to be true, and you're very lucky. I know some of you sitting there going, this cat, no. No, I'm not going to get my kid through the first year of college for $1,500. Yeah, you will. Yes, ma'am.
So the concept is not for any kid to sign up for college courses. It's to run this it's to go into this program as a program. Correct.
Go into as a whole program, because yeah, you can go get like Thomas College or those, but those credits are only good in one place. These credits are good anywhere. And it's a full program because it takes care of the whole freshman year, which makes it very different. And that's what makes it different from all other dual enrollment courses, because it's a complete program. If I brought the kids in here, you wouldn't believe it. They'd look at you like, we were never going to do this. So, yeah.
Fred, what's the benefits? I've got a junior this year, so he'll be a senior next year. Is there anything that we can benefit, that he can benefit from this program? Not really?
No, I'd suggest to have another child.
I got a couple coming behind.
It's the best I can do for you, because it's a 2-year program, and you got to do it at the end of your sophomore year.
All right, yeah.
But if it makes you feel any better,
Oh, if you're still running, I got a couple more comments.
Okay, good. Then that'll work. Okay.
Yeah, there's a number of board members here who have kids in college right now and who have some idea what it costs. You know, and they've been 100% supportive of this ever since I came home from a meeting with Mary. And you know, Mary kind of put this out to the superintendents in the region. I knew I had those resumes, I knew they could do
Yeah,
it.
you're very fortunate
So
because
I
you have the
signed up.
right people in the
And
right
so
places.
we're the partner school with Region 3, and that's the way it goes. I thought one of the things that was most important with your kids, though, these weren't necessarily the Little Miss 4.0. These kids
No.
were truly the middle of the pack.
They're middle of the pack. Oh, we had a 4.0.
Yeah.
We had one.
Yeah.
We don't tell kids just because you're at the top of your school you can't take it. But if you're a sophomore, getting out your sophomore into your sophomore year, you can take it. But no, most of these were just middle of the road kids. I'll play this video for you.
Yeah.
You'll see they're just normal kids.
It's also hugely important that the kids are ready to start Bridge Year in their junior year, because there are things that aren't part of the Bridge Year curriculum that they just won't have time to do if they haven't already done them.
Right. Yep. And that's why once we come in, you'll have a different Bridge Year kid the third and fourth, if you decide to go with third. You're only responsible for one cohort. You start it, we'll stay with you, we'll work with you, and if Schenck turns around and says, that's it, we're out, that's fine. You can walk away, but you have to finish that cohort. That's the only thing you're responsible for. How much does it cost you? Maybe a couple thousand tops.
So mostly at release time
If
for
that
faculty
much.
to go to meetings.
It's mostly
That's
release
it.
time.
And we'd be doing that for staff development anyway.
Right, so I mean, we're gonna take your teachers in the next month, a month and a half, they'll go to the university, they'll meet their partners, they'll work for a day with their partners, they'll get ready to go so they know who they are. This summer, we'll match them up again and make sure their syllabuses are ready to go, and then it's a go. And that's my job, get them all together and get them hugging, and, have a huddle, hike the ball, go.
There's a woman over there with a question.
Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add to what you said, Fred, about, because we have some grant funds that can reimburse their travel.
Yes, Region 3 can help you.
Yep.
Because we give them money to help you. Yes, ma'am?
How does the student application process work?
You've got it in front of you. That is the application.
Okay.
This happens to be Bangor's, because what we do is we write one for you, because, did you get my email today?
I did.
Okay, we have to write it to match what Region 3 has and what Schenck High School have. But the only ones I have right now are Bangor's, so I brought those up with me. So you're gonna fill out that application. It is an extensive application. It tells you everything about the Bridge Year program, and I'm sorry I don't have enough for everyone, but your child will be getting one. Tell them to bring it home. And then you all can decide with them. If not, go to their locker and get it. And basically, they have to write an essay. They have to talk to their teachers to recommend them. And then it goes into the Bridge Year group, along with your administration, along with your guidance people. We sit down with them and say, okay, we've looked at this one. Tell us about this child. How are they? And that's the way they do it. Usually, most kids get in the first time because not everybody does it. Okay, like Bangor, the first time they had like 18 applicants, and all but one got in because they said the child would never do it. So, so usually the beginning, that group almost always gets in. The next year, when the rest of the parents find out, becomes a little bit more difficult process. And what we hope will happen, and what is happening in the other schools that are going, like Herman has always 100, 120 applicants. But their 9th graders know what Bridge Year is. Their 8th graders know it. So they make sure that they take any credits they have to take, which is actually speeding everybody up. It's a nice process. It's doing things that we did not expect, okay? And it's making high school more meaningful for a lot of kids. We do not want them to miss their high school experience. We've got some of the kids you'll see in the video they're the state champion cheerleaders. They're on that team. We want them to play ball, and by the way, we have NCAA clearance in case you have the next Division I basketball player. We had to go to the NCAA and say, wait a minute now, these kids are in college. Does that count as part of their college eligibility? And the NCAA has cleared it to say, no, it does not. I had 2 parents call me. Went down, I won't tell you what school, and I said, how tall is your son anyway? 5'10". I'm not gonna play. You have to go, but we had to make sure we have, so I think we've encountered every problem, but I'm sure we haven't. I'm sure something will come up. Any other questions? Now's a great time
So,
to ask me.
would a child from a neighboring school have to be a student here, or could they just come down for the program?
We have one group that we did with that, where we did a cohort that didn't, they have to go to this school, okay? If Schenck decides, and it's up to that gentleman, that person, that they could do that, if they decided they wanted to be magnanimous and do that, and let that child come here, they will be here all day, or whenever the bridge year is here, that's where they are. That happened in Ellsworth, and it was Ellsworth, Bucksport, Sumner, and MDI. And that cohort's doing okay. It's not as strong a cohort because they're not in the same school and they don't play on the same teams. And it's okay, it works all right. But I will tell you, Bucksport's pulled out, started their own. They're now in Bridger on their own. Sumner is still with Ellsworth, and MDI is pulling out and starting Bridger on their own. Once they realized how it was for the kids, everything changes. And of course, parents put pressure on them. Wait a minute, why don't we have a program?
I would think that it'd be just simpler if they did a supers agreement that just came to school.
That's what they do. I mean, they do an agreement, and it just it doesn't cost them anything, and they don't take anything from it. And that's what they do down there. But they all go to Ellsworth. So, and we don't mind that. We're looking at that with Central. We have 2 Central kids that are looking at going next year to Bangor, and they would just be there all day, and go back and play basketball for Central, whatever. So it can be done. It's up to the Bridger. It's up to what they do is he would come to me and say, "What are we going to do?" And you know, we have so and so. This school wants to come in with us. Do you want them? That's up to you. We don't tell you what to do. We have no authority. I can't tell anybody anything. I just take it to the board. If the board approves it, it goes.
Just to be clear, Fred, part of this is that they do their academic piece, the university courses here, but they also agree that they're going to go to Region on the odd day.
They have to go to Region.
They have to go to Region. So if the kid's academic, or they're going to go and they're going to do culinary or automotives or healthcare or whatever else they're going to do at Region. So they're going to get 2 years at Region as part of this program, as part of the sort of the real life connection that they have.
That's where they get the skill we promised them.
Yep.
And the majority of the kids that we have had so far never planned on going to Region, but turned out to love it. Hopefully this is going to run.
By being cost efficient and educationally effective, the Bridger program combines the value of traditional main high schools, career technical schools, and higher education institutions. This dramatically helps students achieve their academic and career goals, while at the same time does not place any additional financial burdens on the participating institutions. High school students who participate in the program will complete 30 college credits or more by the time they graduate high school.
The Bridger program is a program that is designed for high school juniors to be able to ultimately finish their first year of college by the time they graduate high school. And you can have your associate's degree after 1 year of college. And it sets us up not only for financial success because it saves us money, but also gives us a look at different careers and helps us to figure out what we want to do with our life after high school.
It also allows us to network with local businesses, and the college courses are at a discounted rate, so we're saving time and money doing this program.
Originally, I was going to join the military because I didn't want traditional schooling, but the Bridger program helps me get through that schooling faster. Not only financially, but educationally too. I'm getting college credits and education done while I'm still in high school.
The Bridger program has helped me define more what I want in life. Because before it was just, maybe I want to do this, maybe I want to do that. Like, I didn't really know. So now I kind of have an idea of what I want to do.
I didn't really have any plans out of high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But now that I'm in this program, I have a goal of where I want to be and what I want to do for college, what I want to do for profession for the rest of my life.
It helps me plan what I want to do after high school because I really didn't have a clue. And with the places we visit, I get to talk to people that have already been through college. That helps me figure out what I want to do. I'm saving my parents and I lots of money by doing this, and also I'm learning not just about like the educational piece, but about life in general and about the career options that are out there, what I want to do, what I don't want to do. So it's better for me.
The Bridge Year program has set me up financially for my future by providing credit hours for $20 instead of $117.
Financially, the Bridge program helps me save money that I would be spending on my education, and
She just finished her
also gives me
associate's
another
degree.
year back that I can be working and earning money.
The Bridger program has enhanced me wanting to go to college because it's made me think about what I do really like, and that the University of Maine will really be a good place for me. We're involved with Eastman Community College and University of Maine and stuff like that. I'm going to go to both of those schools instead of going out of state, so it's changed in that way. I'm going to stay closer to home because of this program.
To me, the Bridge Year program is a door of opportunity. It has clarified what I actually want to do in my career.
It's a whole new experience, and not many kids can say they went to college and high school at the same time and still got high school and college credits for the price I'm getting it at. And the people that you're around are always there to help you, and they're always there to see if you need anything.
Even if you're not like the best of students, you're not a straight A student, the Bridge program is for anybody. So if you're, an average BC student, that doesn't mean that you can't be in here. A lot of people say, well, I can't do that next year, I'm not smart enough. You don't have to be smart enough. This program is going to help you with your studying abilities, it's going to help you to learn better and to become a better student.
I would recommend the Bridge program because it saves students and parents a lot of money in the long run, and it saves them time as well, so they can actually get to their career faster.
It's cool to see my classmates who maybe I thought weren't that interested in college and weren't even going to go. Now that I know them a lot better because we have every single class with each other, I learned a lot about them, and I think it's a great program because I've made good friends that I'll keep for the rest of my life through this program.
And if there are no more questions, I'll get out of your hair.
Just a word, this is, aside from being the Division I athlete, this is the greatest financial aid program known to man. It really is. And, your kid is still gonna stand out here at graduation, we're still gonna give them the local scholarships, just like any other kid would. But they're gonna be a year ahead. A year, at the University of Maine is what, 20,000, 25,000 now?
Yep.
Colby, 52, 53. So if you can knock a year off that, it's just a tremendous economic value to that for parents. I can't imagine a parent not wanting their kid to be in this program if they're going to go, really.
And by the way, some of the other colleges we're now talking to, I was 2 weeks ago, I was at Maine Maritime Camp.
Yep. They're
coming in, so. We could do it with state colleges and universities. We're not allowed to do privates because we're funded by the state. So
yep.
We can't do privates. But the privates accept them and want them. Even though it might cost them a year, they get a better kid. And they know they've got a kid that's going to stay.
Well, even if your kid is going to Harvard, Harvard may not accept the credits from the University of Maine, but they sure be impressed that the kid's got it.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
No question. They would. Well, thank you. And yes.
Fred, I just want to make one quick comment. We're looking at next month. We're going to have a dinner at Region 3, and we're going to invite the sophomores, all the parents. People can come and look at our programs. The teachers will be there. Our instructors have a chance to talk to our instructors and maybe figure out what the program is best for your student. If you do want to put your child in the Bridge program, we're just going to open our doors up and say, we're going to feed you a good meal and say, come on and have a look. If you're not familiar with what Region 3 does, you'll get a really good what we do there and how we can help.
And if you're doing it on a night when I'm not out,
you're always invited.
I'll be there to answer any questions they have. So.
And dinner at a tech center is always worth attending. Whether you've got a kid or not.
Sneak in. If you're a board member, go. They're not going to know.
Okay, well, we're going to take about 5 minutes here for everybody